How's it going, everybody? This is going to be your skill 2.2 guide for the new incursion rate. I was trying to hold out for 2.3, but I don't think that's coming anytime soon for some reason. I think they actually yanked it because of this section being doable with invaders, because they seem to crush it. In this video, we're going to look at the team in use. We talk about ways that this team that I'm using could still grow, and then I'll show how we're handling the skill section with relative ease. Let's get into it. Alright, so this is our invaders team. Now this is a giant team, but I'm also washing the nodes. And I look at this team and I actually see there's a lot of room for growth. So Nick Fury, Iron Fist, they were with me in DD6. Captain America, World War II, Bucky Barnes, Union Jack. I could actually get them to tier 18 too. That's a huge, huge damage and survival increase for this team. And they could all go to ISO 5. They're all ISO 4 right now. And now that there's diamond systems, I can also put one diamond on all the characters. So I like 2.3. I actually think this team will be fine on 2.3. Maybe a little bit further investment, but I don't even know how much it'll need. Now, the beauty of the Invader team is, besides Nick Fury, who I actually don't know how he's farmable at this point. I know they just changed a lot of stuff for him. Besides Nick Fury, the rest are completely farmable. So Iron Fist is the most important character, and he's in the Blitz supply store. So run, don't walk. If you don't have him at 7 stars, get him to 7 stars, get him to 7 red stars as quick as possible. Captain America World War II, he's in the Crucible store. A little bit harder to get him there, but when you do have your credits, he's probably the most important character to build up to maximum. I guess Peggy Carter would also hit that mark too for the bio section, which we'll have a video on eventually. Bucky Barnes is available in the Raid Supply store, so you want to get him up as quickly as possible. He's coming in at 10 shards a pop, which is very nice. And I think that's it. Oh, Union Jack. Union Jack is available on a node. He'll probably be your longest farm, but at least we are getting 4 shards per pop on the nodes now. So complete the farmable, get them up to 7 red stars, 7 yellow stars. Try and get maybe 1 diamond on them when we see 2.3, but even hold off on that. We'll just wait till we see what 2.3 looks like. And I would say the most important character by far is going to be your Iron Fist Orson, followed closely by Nick Fury. And the rest, as long as they're alive, doing their mechanics, your damage is going to be perfectly fine. This is not like the last raid tier. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break down node by node, kill order, talk about some important pivotal moments, and then that'll wrap up the video. I hope you enjoy it. If it helps you, let me know in the comment section below. Okay, so for the first skill node, we have a very easy formula to follow. We're going to Fury Special turn 1. We're going to stun the first Archangel. We're going to rewind enemies to maintain our momentum. And then when the second Archangel and Dark Beast fall in, we'll pivot to take them out as soon as possible. And this way we'll fall. We want to make sure we're leaving this node with Union Jack ultimate up, but we'll talk about that when we get into the fight. Let's go. So this is the positioning that I normally like to hold, where we have the Captain America World War II feeding energy to Nick Fury and Iron Fist Orson. This takes the brain power out of it. You'll always be able to use both of these characters' opening abilities. But like I just said, if we need Union Jack's ultimate and we don't have it up from the first node, we're going to have to put him adjacent to Captain America World War II and take whoever between Fury and Orson has their ultimate up. We'll take them to be no longer adjacent to Captain America World War II. But that's also what we have, Union Jack adjacent to Nick Fury, so any kind of crits that Captain Nick Fury gives off, he'll be able to feed some energy to Union Jack, help him get back to his ultimate a little bit sooner. And Bucky Barnes is off on an island, just kind of doing Bucky Barnes things. So let's get into the match, and we'll talk about why we're using the Nick Fury special and not the ultimate. So the reason we're using the special is just because of that enemy Archangel, and because our team is relatively slow compared to the Archangel and the Gwenpools. Now because we use the special, we get speed up on our team, we get to do a bunch of damage to that Bishop, drop that taunt, and then Union Jack is going to go before all the other characters. This lets us put that rewind in the middle, rewinding the Archangel, peeling the dodges off the Gwens, and rewinding that Valkyrie as well. Now we're going to put the stun on Archangel. Remember, Iron Fist Orson ultimate stuns the primary target, and I believe it's the highest damage mystic villain, or mystic enemy, I should say. Once we're stuck behind these Gwenpools, we're going to go ahead and peel them apart, and this is where we can talk a little bit more about ISO selection. You might have noticed I had 1 Skirmisher, 3 Raiders, and 1 Striker. That's kind of a holdover from the last raid tier where we needed the damage. Now we don't. I don't hate the idea of Union Jack as a Skirmisher or as Iron Fist as a Skirmisher as well. Nick Fury as a Raider still makes a little bit of sense, peeling, getting some extra energy to you. Now you'll notice the Valkyrie passive didn't proc on the Jane Foster. I didn't find that even when it did proc, it mattered very much. We would take more damage, but this turn from Iron Fist Orson right here would heal me up completely. I noticed that shield security was blinded, so I went ahead and used the basic. We'll use the special from Captain America World War II to give energy to our boys. The enemy Captain Americas are going to take themselves out here, although they do leave us with a nasty Terminator rewind. And now that we see the Archangel and Dark Beast have dropped in, we want to control them as quickly as possible. Remember that if you do play this safely and you have Union Jack Ultimate available, you don't have to hold Nick Fury or Iron Fist Orson Ultimates or Specials. You can let them fly as they'll get them back on. So I turn on the Archangel and I start just letting him have as much damage as I can give out. If we were to get a assist on a shield security or a shield operative, I would have thought about going to rewind that Dark Beast a little bit. The Dark Beast ultimate is annoying, but as long as he's not reaching his special, it doesn't really matter. See, I went and got a slow on the Dark Beast. We do lose a minion, which means Archangel's passive will proc. But you notice we are very well protected with death proofs and deflex and defense up. So one proc from the Archangel isn't the end of the world, so long as we don't get a bunch of them in the opening turns, which is why we did stun the opening Archangel. Now, like I said, I don't need to hold any cooldowns for my Iron Fist Orson, so I let the ultimate fly. I'm going to save my Captain America because he doesn't give energy to himself, and we're ready for Node 2. So for Node 2, we're actually going to use Fury Ultimate turn 1 this time. We're going to stun the Spider-Man 2099 with our Iron Fist Orson. That's very important. We're going to Union Jack Ultimate on the left side, and then we're going to try and drop Kang before his second turn. We don't want that Ultimate. Basically, any abilities that peel off all of our buffs, we want to avoid those at all costs. We're going to be using the exact same positioning we had before because I did use that Orson Ultimate to end the match, and I do know that my Union Jack has full energy. So the opening damage comes from the Noir, and then we get to go with our Nick Fury. We're going to go ahead and throw the Ultimate. That is going to give Noir a bunch of turns. In a perfect world, Noir is actually going to kill some of our summons at this point, because that'll give a speed bar and energy to our invaders, which will let us use abilities and get ahead of the enemies like the Firestar, the Silver Surfer, and the Taskmaster with our Union Jack. That's not going to happen here, so you're going to see what I do to overcome that little bit of bad RNG. We stun the 2099, and then with the one operative I have, I go ahead and rewind the Rogue, and now I have a slow. I'll throw that on the Silver Surfer. You could also throw that on the Firestar or on the Taskmaster, or on the Moonstone. Whoever you find is giving you the hardest time, throw the Terminator Rewind on them. I also noticed I'm getting an assist from another operative again, so I go ahead and throw another Rewind over on the Firestar, on the Moonstone. Iron Fist Orson is going to completely heal everybody back up. And you see our Union Jack is now going, and he's going to rewind that left side before Taskmaster, Surfer, or Rogue got a turn, and from there, we're able to get control of the map. We'll ult everybody away with Captain America World War II. We're going to heal up with Fury and give a bunch of buffs, and we'll continue our onslaught. Taking this Kang out before he gets to do his ultimate ability, and we got to keep an eye on the Shang-Chi and the Cloak. We don't want them to do their abilities, though do keep in mind you have given yourself many stacks of immunity along the way, so the Cloak ultimate is not nearly as devastating as the Shang-Chi. So after Kang, you do want to kill Shang-Chi as quickly as possible. You don't have to hold anything back on Nick Fury or Iron Fist Orson, as we are going to keep them adjacent to Captain America World War II to get their energy back up, and we'll be able to ace the Bos Node using a very clever burn strategy, which we're going to get into in just a second. So for the skill boss, we're going to use a burn attack to pull the big time ultimates and the Squirrel Girl special. There is a bunch of cleansers on the first wave. We'd like to at least bypass one of those cleanses. We're going to Nick Fury ultimate here to get a bunch of minions summoned up for both their abilities, but also for the speed bar and the energy they give. And then we're going to control the cleansers and Thor. So for our burn attack, it's very important that we don't get our Black Cat targeted by the Spider-Man big times. Because there's two of them, we're going to need to bring in two different pre-taunts. So to do that, we're going to bring in Kingpin and Red Guardian. So you notice that Kestrel and Captain Sam aren't going to get to do anything here, so you don't need to bring in meaningful characters. It's all about the two pre-taunts and then the Black Cat. So now we have the two big times pulled on their ultimate. Because we get a hit on them, they both get speed bar, so they're actually going to use their specials as well, which is an extra added bonus. The Infinity War Thor takes a turn. That's not a great thing, but it's also not a terrible thing either. And then we get burped out of existence. And now we'll do the main attack. So we're using our straight invaders once again. So we're going to go ahead and open with the Nick Fury Ultimate. This is going to give the enemy many targets to take down. We don't need the speed because we did pull the big time abilities. So the first thing we got to do is get through these Absorbing Man taunts, but we don't need to do that before we let our Iron Fist Orson ultimate fly. He will stun the highest mystic enemy. I believe it is damage. You can check the little graphic we just put up, but he is always one that gets stunned here, so we're not worried about him taking his second turn. So you can see whenever an invader ally drops, Iron Fist Orson is getting speed bar, and then energy is going to the rest of our allies. It's a very crucial part of why this team is working in the raids. We've now successfully rewound everybody. We're about to get past the additional Absorbing Men. And because all of our invaders died and we got a bunch of energy, we have the ability to summon yet again. This will help us bypass more Absorbing Mans because we will have a third one dropping in. But it also lets us perform stuns, slows, and terminator rewinds with the shield operatives and the security. You'll notice I'm going to be targeting Phi Lavelle. I don't want her to be removing the stun from the Infinity War Thor, which is a big reason why I summoned. And we're not worried about the Squirrel Girl reaching her turn at all because we did pull her special in the opening burn attack. So we'll go ahead and we'll spread all those buffs. We want to make sure we're keeping speed up on our team at all times. And we'll start going for the Psylocke because she is yet another cleanser. We want to make sure Squirrel Girl, Psylocke, and Phi Lavelle are not cleansing the enemy here. Now, the Infinity War Thor is a very slow character, so after the initial stun, if we could just get a slow on him, he will survive long enough for us to perform yet another stun on him. You don't want to wait on these Spider-Man big times for too long. They will reach around to their ultimate again. Now, fortunately for us, at that point, we're going to be laden with buffs, and we're going to have many minions with Taunt out, but it's a safer idea to take care of them when the opportunity arises. Just make sure we're taking out those cleansers before we get to it. So now we have the stun. We should have thrown that on Infinity War Iron Man. I'm not sure why I deviated to the Morbius. So I guess Morbius does have more damage than the Infinity War Thor does. But as you see, once we've taken care of the opening turns from the big time Spider-Mans with the burn, this is a very easy match, all circled around not letting Infinity War Thor take a turn, and not letting the cleansers cleanse the enemy team of all the offense downs, slows, disrupts, stuns, and ability blocks that our invaders throw out. With much room to grow on my current invader team, though I know it is big compared to a lot of other players, I almost expect that we might have another raid here come out much faster than we got Incursion 2.2. Otherwise, they'd have to blatantly increase the difficulty on 2.3 or 2.4, 5, and 6 whenever they decide to come out. Because right now, this skill section is not what I believe they had in mind. I'm pretty sure they wanted the equivalent of the last tech section. Anyway, guys, let me know how you enjoyed this video. I hope it helps, and I'll see you guys in the next guide. Bye for now. That's it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Stay happy, healthy, have fun, and I'll see you in the next one.